Welcome. Today I'm joined by the CEO of Hexatronic, Rikard Fröberg. Welcome.
Thank you, Frederick. Pleasure to be here.
You just released your report for the first quarter this year, and you see some improvements within fiber solutions in the US. Could you elaborate a bit what is improving in the market or in your business at least?
So a couple of things there, Frederick. We've talked about this as an expectation for a while now, that we would see the improvement sometime in 2026, and we're actually seeing it a little bit earlier than we had communicated, already organic growth in the first quarter. Last year, 2025, was a little bit of a lost year for us in the US market, but we now have turned a corner. We have some new customers. We have some old customers that are back and buying again. And also one of the headwinds that we had last year was pricing on the conduit side was decreasing. So even though volumes were up significantly, there was an offset in the pricing that was decreasing on a year-over-year basis, and that's now behind us. In fact, prices on the conduit side are probably going up because of raw material cost. So now we see some of that volume growth. It continues, and we now see it flow through also to top-line growth.
Interesting. So let's move on to data center. Organic growth was strong this quarter as well, but the margin declined somewhat compared to a very strong quarter last year, I should say. You mentioned some initiatives in growth having an impact on margins. What kind of initiatives are you taking?
So it was year-on-year slight decline from an exceptional level last year. So the margin is still quite strong in data center. And we expect it to strengthen a little bit in the next quarter. But we are, as you noted, we are investing in some growth areas. So we're expanding a little bit outside the core of providing the core services to hyperscalers and to pure data centers. We're looking at some new customer segments, some I could call it smaller data center, even data center-like businesses, whether it's university campuses, train stations. They have the same need, but on a smaller scale. And then we're also expanding our offering to the data center. So not just cabling for the racks and for the servers, but also perhaps security applications, audio, video, that kind of stuff. And this is an organic investment that we're doing, and we're seeing good momentum there, but we can work on the profitability as we're in the startup phase.
Interesting to follow up on that later. And talking about the areas besides hyperscalers, I mean, we all know that the hyperscaler market is very hot, but
Very hot.
what about your other end markets? What's the status there, and what's the trends driving those markets?
Yeah, so we certainly serve the hyperscalers. We're happy to serve them, but we like to have a mix in our portfolio. So we do hyperscalers. We also do other cloud-based services, co-location. We do a lot of enterprise. And as you said, Frederick, in the enterprise segment is where we see an opportunity to probably broaden our offering even more. Like I said, any type of campus situation, they use a lot of fiber, and they use a lot of the same services and products as a hyperscaler, but maybe instead of calling a hyperscaler, microscaler.
I see. So let's move on to harsh environment. You did an acquisition there recently, JOWO Systemteknik. What's their offering and how does it fit into harsh environment?
So harsh environment today is, we have three segments. The main segment historically for us has been dynamic cables. These are mostly the underwater cables that you've probably seen on some pictures. Second segment is connectivity, so connectors and connectivity assemblies. And then we have a smaller sensing business. When we have said for a while that the connectivity piece is a strategic growth area for us, and this is a big step into that space. JOWO is really market leader in Germany and Central Europe, primarily in the defense sector. So in the defense sector, there's an enormous amount of connectivity going on. Everything is going digital these days. And we see a great business, and they have very good momentum today. But we also see an opportunity, of course, under Hexatronic ownership to broaden that to become more pan-European and extend the reach, maybe even globally.
Interesting. So, I mean, there seems to be quite a lot of things going on track for you currently. But could you elaborate a bit on what should investors expect for the rest of this year?
Yes, thank you. I think the most important message is that the transformation of Hexatronic continues. We have been historically very much a fiber to the home company. We are now more and more becoming a fiber to the everything company, fiber to the data center, fiber to the train station, fiber to the submarine, the underwater ROV, submarine to fiber to defense applications, and so on. The list is long. And while a few years ago, that what is today Fiber Solutions really was the entirety of Hexatronic. Today, our fast-growing and high-margin harsh environment and data center businesses account for 44% of our sales on a pro forma basis, and more than 60% of adjusted EBITDA. So this really is a transformation, and it's a very exciting journey that we're on. And I think as an investor, you should expect that journey to continue. You should also expect that we turn a corner with Fiber Solutions. We've had five sequential quarters of declining margin, but now in this quarter, for the first time in 5 quarters, we've seen that sequentially the EBITDA margin was slightly up.
Looking forward to follow you for the rest of the year as well. Thank you very much, Rikard.
Thank you, Fredrik. Have a good day.